I'm Danny, and this is Asher. We're two Kiwis who, after 5 years living in London, decided to head home the slow way. We bought a 36-foot sailing boat, Bacchus, built a little rowing and sailing dinghy, Pi Waka Waka, and headed towards the horizon. These are our adventures.
Off to today, Danny?
We're leaving the continent and we're heading to the Canaries, so we're thinking it's going to take us about 6 days, but today's mission is getting out of the shipping lanes. So Ash has just been giving me some advice on where the shipping lanes are with these paper charts and with our navionics, but basically all of today will be on ship watch as we pass the ships coming in and out of Lisbon, and then through a major TSS channel, which is where the ships drive through to get all the way up and down.
Yeah, so you can see us just in that little corner there in our little anchorage, and this purple zone here shows us where the shipping channels are. So you can see there's 3 northbound lanes and then there's 2 southbound lanes. And then of course we'll also have the ships that are going in and out of Lisbon up this channel here. Lisbon is a busy port in its own right. Visibility outside is not the best. There's been a bit of fog around and there's a bit of low cloud, so it's not the best day for dodging ships, but it's not as bad as yesterday. And if we don't go today, we're going to be stuck here for several days longer because there's a bit of a blow coming through. Which will make it a bit too rough outside. So yeah, it's not the best start that we could have wished for, but it could be worse. And we're heading south to the Canaries, where it's going to be sunny and warm, we hope. So we're excited to get going.
We're leaving in the fog and the mist, but we're leaving.
There was a boat that we spotted on her way in, a little yacht. So we called them up and on the radio, and they told us that the visibility is actually a lot better about 2 miles offshore. So that makes us feel a bit better about our plan to leave, because it's pretty crap at the moment. Oh, what's happened to your bread?
It has decided to hop out. So I've made 2 batches of bread here and put it in the cool box, and this was supposed to be for tomorrow, but oh my goodness. It's like probably climbed out of its bulk here.
Climbed out of its house. It's alive. It is alive, isn't it?
Just try and put it back in.
Back in its cage.
You go in there. So I think the cool box was not cold enough to keep it from rising still.
To retard it.
Hey dolphins! Oh. I have never seen this many dolphins before. Come over here, guys. It is babies. Hey! Oh, amazing. Hey, dolphins. Hey, dolphins. Where are you taking us?
Well, that was so cool seeing all those dolphins. We actually saw a dead dolphin floating in the water just as we left the marina yesterday, and it felt like a little bit of a bad omen because we always see dolphins at the start of our big passages. So really special to see that massive pod of dolphins cruising along.
I reckon there was like 50.
That was huge. I've not seen that many dolphins
babies
in one place before.
So good start to day 1.
Yeah. So the superstitious sailor in me is well satisfied with that. And the wind's filled in nicely now, so we're trucking along.
these cushions in Qashqai, and they're an absolute game changer. Not only are they beautifully festive and colouring, but they make sitting on watch so damn comfortable, and they're tied together so you can put them basically anywhere around the boat. You've got something to lean on, something to sit on, and it's so comfy. I can't believe we didn't have these before. It's completely changed it. Yeah, good buy, best purchase. How far do you think we'll cover in our first 24-hour period?
Well, the log was at 1474, and I reckon I'm hopeful that we'll do 130 miles.
130 miles?
Yeah.
24 hours?
Yeah.
See how we go, eh?
Annie's practicing her guitar. Not sure who's on watch at the moment. It's probably me. So we're crossing a shipping lane at the moment. It's quite a busy shipping lane. It's all the traffic coming out of Gibraltar and heading up and down the coast towards Europe. So you can see there's the different lanes there for north and southbound traffic, and all those ships are then heading north and south sort of across our course. What I would like to do is sail due west and just go straight across the lane, but unfortunately it's a westerly wind, so I can't. So it's even got a bit of south in it at the moment. So I'm being forced to sail this angle, which isn't great. But you can see these waypoints, they mark one edge of the shipping zone. That's the middle where the traffic changes direction, and then this is the other side when we'll be clear. If we could just sail straight west, we'd be across in a couple of hours, but unfortunately we're going to be in the lane for much longer because of the angle that we have to sail. But we're getting there.
End of day 2 of our passage to the Canaries, and the first 36 hours of this trip have been pretty intense. We had fog when we left, followed by a whole lot of wind, but not from the direction we were expecting it to come from, so meaning we had to beat our way and tack our way across the shipping channels, which took us the best part of 24 hours to get across them. And we had a lightning storm that we had to swerve past to avoid, and yeah, it's just been pretty exciting. But today the wind's back to what we were expecting. It's about 20 knots on the beam, and we are sailing in the direction we want to be in, so it'll be a nice quick night, I think, and we'll expect to get to our halfway point maybe by the end of tomorrow. Couple of new things on this trip. So our watch system, for one, we've increased the hours from 3 hours per watch to 4 hours per watch, and have also added in what's called a dog watch, which is the watch between 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. where we both are on the watch, which just means that we get to have someone cooking dinner and both of us out here at the same time, and also means that the watches switch every day, so I'll do the sunrise shift one day and then Ash will do it the next day because of that dog watch. So that's a new system that we're trialling out. We're trialling all of our meals for the Atlantic, so we decided what we think would be the right stuff to take with us for the trip and based it all around 7 different meals. So we're going to give those all a go throughout this trip, make sure that they're the right things to be cooking at sea, especially if it's rough. So that's pretty cool. We're also, I'm trialling scopoderm, which is a patch you might be able to see on the back of behind my ear to try and help with my seasickness, which so far is working quite well actually, but I've also got the bands and around my wrists and drinking ginger ale and basically doing anything I can to try and counteract the nausea feeling you get from really big swells. So yeah, definitely a trial passage, this one.
Oh, that was quite a fun watch that I've just finished. I've just done the 8 till midnight shift and we're just humming along on a broad reach. The wind's right on the beam and the sea is not too bumpy, so Bacchus is just flying. We're doing sort of 7-8 knots and it's lovely out there. It's nice and warm, there's phosphorescence in the water, all the stars are out and there's these little black clouds that are just kind of scudding across the horizon, and if you go underneath one of them there's a little bit of extra wind there to push you a little bit quicker. Sometimes a little bit of rain, which is a nasty surprise. But yeah, really fun, exciting night on the wheel. Great.
Oh,
How lucky are we?
what you got there?
Homemade pizza.
Nice one.
It's really good too.
The leftover focaccia dough.
Good work.
What day is it? 3.
3.
Day 3. Sea's getting really blue, which is nice. And the conditions have calmed down a little bit, so it's quite windy for the first 2 days and 2 nights, sort of 15 to 20 knots, which was good fun. Not too much, but enough to keep us moving quickly. But the wind's just died down a little bit and gone round to the north, so it's just a little bit flatter, which is nice.
Think about you. Got you in that bag.
A slight frustration that we've discovered on board Bacchus on this passage is that our autopilot chews a lot more battery than we thought it did, especially when there's a big sea running. So when the pilot's having to fight the waves to steer the boat, it really sucks a lot of power out of the batteries, which is frustrating. So we've been hand steering a bit, which is not bad. It's quite good fun. And because we've had quite a lot of fog and rain at the start of this trip, the solar panel hasn't been making much power, so we've had to run the engine to charge the batteries. So it's the first time on this trip that we've actually had not enough electricity. So I'm a bit disappointed about that, but that's just what we've got and that's what we're going to have to work with. So yeah, I kind of wish I'd fitted a wind vane steering system, which just operates off the wind at the back of the boat. It's sort of the more old-fashioned way to steer your boat instead of having an autopilot. But I didn't fit one of those, and it's a little bit too late to now. So we've got what we've got. Must be day 4 today. Wind's dropped overnight, so it's very light now. And it's coming from the north, so we're trying to just make our way very gently downwind. It's a little bit tricky to do it with the swell without collapsing the sails, So it's a good little challenge. You can just hear the sails behind the camera there doing a bit of a flap. But we saw a sea turtle, which was really cool. First piece of tropical wildlife that we've seen. We almost ran him over actually. He just suddenly popped out at the stern of the boat. For lunch today, got black beans and rice and some fresh veg to keep the scurvy at bay.
Oh no! This is what happens when you're steering the boat and eating your lunch and trying to film.
There's this big sort of like rolling swell behind us, and I thought I would try and film some of them with the camera because it looked kind of cool, and I was steering the boat, and as a result my lunch was on the floor in the cockpit. That's right. Yum. 100 miles to go to make landfall at Lanzarote. We're flying downwind with a bone in our teeth. It's about 20-25 knots from straight behind us. Danny's doing a great job on the helm. Woohoo! Oh man, last night I tried to hoist the main after we dropped it because of a big squall, and I got it up about to the third reef, and then it jammed and it wouldn't go up and it wouldn't go down, so we spent last night with it kind of half hoisted. And I was getting quite concerned because we've got quite a lot of wind coming today, the most that we will have had on this trip, and I didn't want to be stuck with a sail that I couldn't get rid of. So we tried a few different things to get it down, but we couldn't make it move. So in the end I've gone up the mast, and it's a little bit lumpy, so it wasn't very pleasant, but I've gone up the mast and I've taken the halyard off the top of the sail, so it was actually the halyard that's jammed in the sheave at the top of the mast, I think. The sail itself seems to be moving okay now that the halyard's off it, so we'll pull the main down and just put it away. We don't have a main anymore now without the main halyard, but we won't need it. It's just downwind from here to the Canaries. We've got another 150 miles to go, I think, so we'll just do it under headsail. Yeah, it's a bit of adrenaline for the morning, and I felt like my arms are going to get ripped out of their sockets up there because the mast was swaying around so much. It's really sore. Feeling really low today. It's the last day of the passage to the Canaries, but I'm feeling really bad for Danny because she's really seasick, and that's just the most miserable thing. I'm really annoyed and frustrated with the boat because it seems like everything's just breaking. The roller furler on the headsail's been playing up and jamming, and then the main halyard jammed last night. The autopilot's not steering as well as I wanted it to. So I'm just wondering what I'm doing at the moment. Yeah, not a great day.
There is a possibility that we snap the boat hook doing this. But at the moment it's doing a good job as a second spinnaker pole. We've got both the head sails poled out, one on either side. And we're just heading straight downwind because we don't have a main anymore because the halyard is stuck halfway up the mast.
The wind's really picked up out there. We've got about 25 knots now from right behind us. We're just making landfall at Lanzarote. It's 4:30 in the morning, so I wish it was a little bit later so that we could see things a bit better. I don't like arriving somewhere new in the dark, but we can see the outline of the islands against the horizon. And yeah, we should be in by sort of 9 or 10 o'clock, so excited.
We've arrived in Lanzarote. I think it was 5 days and 4 hours it took us to arrive. And we're absolutely shattered, as you can see from my skipper down here.
I'm on watch.
He has actually just woken up and turned around. He told me he thought that the boat was moving. But we're tied up in the marina, and I think we're going to have a very early night and start exploring Lanzarote tomorrow.
I was feeling really low when we finished that trip to the Canaries. I think a lot of it was just down to me being really tired. I didn't sleep as much as I should have. There's always a temptation, I think, when you're the skipper to cut your off watches short because you want to be awake and be monitoring things and making sure that the boat's okay and that your crew's okay. And as a result, I was really feeling quite negative about the whole sailing trip by the time we arrived. The last couple of days were quite tough. We had that jammed halyard, we had a few other issues with the boat, and by the time we got to the Canaries, I had actually almost made up my mind not to go any further, and that I wasn't feeling confident enough in my abilities and in the boat to carry on. So in my head I was thinking that we would probably try and sell Bacchus in the Canaries, and think about what we wanted to do next. And it was amazing actually how much just having a good sleep changed my perspective on all of that. By the time I'd had a sleep, things didn't seem quite so grim. I had a really good chat with my mum and dad back in New Zealand, and obviously had some really good discussions with Danny about how the trip went, and realised that I think I do have the skills to pull this off and get us back to New Zealand safely, and I think the boat is capable.
There's a few little modifications that I want to do to the boat, a few extra things that we want to add, and heaps of learning points from that trip. So yeah, we're cracking on, but it definitely was probably the lowest point of the trip so far, I'd say.
We didn't sell Bacchus and things became a lot brighter. Join us on our next episode as we explore the incredible Canary Islands and get Bacchus prepped for the Atlantic crossing.